Hi guys, it's Sherry. Today we are going to be making a fall pair of earrings, and the first thing you will need is your wood blanks. And I did paint these ahead of time. I could do the front and back in some gold acrylic paint. And I just did a thin layer on here. So paint your wood blanks, let everything dry. And while that is drying, you'll get some orange clay and a pumpkin cutter, and then any type of stamp that you have. And I'm just going to use this stamp today, and I will lay this down. I'll get a rolling pin, press on it fairly good because we want those impressions to show up in our clay. Lift it up, and then you have this beautiful design. And then I will go, and I'm going to put the bottom of my pumpkin at the very edge here because I want as much of that to show. Take my tool, let's pull that out. And see if I could get two of them in this one. There we go. Oops. There we go. I'm just going to smooth all my edges out very nicely. And I am using Primo clay. And then I have my powders here. These are pan pastels. You could use mica powder, you could use paint, whatever you have on hand. There's no certain thing that you absolutely need to have. So I just use my finger, and then I'm just going to lightly go right over my piece. And then all my little impressions will show. Then I'll just place these right in my oven at the recommended temperature and for how long they recommend it for. But I did do them ahead of time. This way we wouldn't have to wait the half hour for them to come out of the oven. So that's what I ended up with. So for the earrings, I bought this mesh at the dollar store, and I thought it was so beautiful that I really wanted to incorporate this into my design. And then I have this ribbon that I thought was so beautiful as well. So I wanted to incorporate this too. So I'm going to kind of do like a half and half for this project. So I have my Mod Podge. I'm just going to put my thin layer down. So I'm going to take my ribbon first and just kind of get an idea where I want it. And then take my mesh, and I'm going to go, I want my ribbon right in the middle. So I'm going to take my mesh, and I'm just going to press it down. And then I want my ribbon to go slightly over the very edge of the mesh because it's kind of, you can see it's like frayed a little bit. So I don't want that fray to show. So I'm going to go right on top. And then just press that down nice. And then I'll take another bit. That is a lot. That came out a lot more than I was expecting. But I'm going to make sure I get my ribbon nice and covered. And then go over my mesh again. and then let that completely dry. I am going to take this and I'm going to cut some of this off because I could use this on my other earring. And I'm all about not wasting my material here. So press that down again. Okay. So my glue already dried over here, so I'm just going to do another small thin coat. I like to have my Mod Podge wet when I'm putting my pieces down because I feel like it keeps everything in place nicely. You know, some people will wait till it all dries, but I don't like doing that. Okay. So put my mesh down right in the middle. Cut my ribbon and then slightly put it over. Oh, I actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I want to go on the opposite side this time because we're going to have one for the left and one for the right ear. So we're going to go opposite side this time. Okay, so once this is completely dried, then we can move on to the next step. My pieces are mostly dried, so I will start trimming them up, and I like to turn them over so I can really see where I need to trim. And then just carefully follow your edge and get as close as you can. And I really recommend a nice sharp pair of scissors for this. When you have dull scissors, you'll get a lot of fray going on, and it doesn't look as nice. So now we have two starters here, and I like to always poke my holes. So just get anything sharp, and you should fairly be able to see where your holes are. So just poke them through. I love this tool right here because it really just goes right through. It's super sharp. Okay, so now I got to decide, what do I want to do with the back? Well, I love this, so I'm just going to do this on the back because I like to decorate all my pieces, front and back. So I'm just going to cut a piece of my mesh, and then hopefully, yep, I should have enough for both. And look how cool that's going to look. How neat is that? I like that a lot. Okay, so then we're going to do the same type of thing. Get our Mod Podge, and I'm going to put this on thick as well. And the reason I'm putting this on thick is because it'll go right through the mesh, and then we should be able to brush it right through. So and then all that glue will pop right through that mesh. And we could brush it. And now make sure you're pushing this on so it lays flat and you don't get no wrinkles or creases. Because I have a wrinkle right there and it just is not wanting to go away. So I'm going to pull this. So a trick I found out that, so here we have a wrinkle. and it's going to keep poking up on me. So I'm going to show you a real quick trick. Get your blow dryer after you put the Mod Podge on. Pull your piece straight. And that quick, my wrinkle is no longer in there. So you just need to hold it, blow dry it. No fighting the wrinkles anymore. Oops. So this mesh and the Mod Podge, this one, I got from the dollar store. And this roll of mesh, you could do so many pairs of earrings or pendants with it. It's unbelievable how much you get for the $1.25 now. It's insane to me. I mean, look how thick that is. So lots and lots and lots of crafting ideas with that one. So I'm going to let these dry fairly quick because I'm going to blow dry them, and then we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, so now let's just trim these up like we did the other side. I've been wanting to make a pair of fall earrings using my wood blanks for a few weeks now, and I'm super excited about doing these. Look how beautiful that is. If you get a black one like this and you have like a little spider, you can make this into the web. So how cool would that be? That's something I might end up doing. I might actually just use this as my spider web and do a black spider. I think that would be super cool. So look forward to that one. I have the feeling I'm going to be doing that very soon. And one of the things that I really love about doing crafting is as you are doing your craft, you'll have so many new ideas pop into your head. So it's kind of never ending. And if you love crafting, that's a wonderful thing. If you don't, well. Okay. So you can see the back's beautiful. This one still is a tad bit wet. I'm okay with that because I can still work with it. And now I just got to decide, how do I want to put my pumpkins? And I love the idea of just putting them, you know, kind of catty corner like that with each other. And I think that's what I will do. So I'm going to use super glue for this. I'm going to make sure I get my super glue on my edges. But don't go too close to the edge, because as you push it down, it's going to kind of spread out. And you don't want it going outside if you don't have to. So let's go right there. And then just hold it down. So now with this one, I'm going to make sure that my pieces are lined up, because I like to have everything even. And then I will make sure, yep, so they're level with each other, and then I'll press down. Okay, so I am actually going to use my clips, and these are also from the dollar store, and that will hold my pumpkins in place. Let me get one more. And I'm going to let these dry for about 5 minutes to make sure they are completely sealed down. But you see how beautiful these little clamps work? They're perfect. So if you're at the dollar store, pick these up because they will hold a lot of things in place for you. Okay, so my pieces should definitely be dried and ready to go, which they are. The backs are completely dried. Look how fantastic. I absolutely love how these are turning out. How cute are those? So now I am going to reopen my hole quick. I'm going to get my tool. I'm going to poke through this side. All right, so once your holes are completely opened, we're gonna get our resin. And I love to use resin. I don't know about everybody else, but the resin to me makes me feel like these are 100% securely down. The Mod Podge is beautiful. It works fantastic, but I wear my jewelry hard and the resin is what is going to protect it for me. So that's what I do. So I will be using this resin, and I'm not going to go completely over my pumpkin. I'm going to go more around it, and then I'll show you a glaze that I'm going to use on my pumpkin. So I'm just going to start at the top with this one. I love using these little sticks. They're perfect to spread your resin around. So just pull your resin, and I go right up. I will not go over my hole. Sometimes it will spill into it, but I just try to go around it the best that I can. I'm going to carefully pull this right around my pumpkin. And I'm not going to go over the pumpkin and try not to go over the edge. So just carefully pull it. And then put a little bit on the bottom. Okay, I'd like to let my pieces kind of sit for a couple minutes before I put them under the light, because it'll help bring all the bubbles up, and then we will use the lighter as well after I finish this section. And I'll say with the material, I noticed the resin really doesn't pull too far away from the edge like it would on a smooth surface. It kind of helps keep the resin in place, which is super nice. So now I'll take my lighter and go over and pop whatever bubbles might be there. If you have a bubble that doesn't come out with the lighter, you could just pop it. So just take something pointy and pop it. All right, so now I'll put these under my UV light for a few minutes, and then I will do the back side, but I'm just gonna brush that on. I'm not gonna do a thick coat. It's just gonna be a brush on, and I'll show you real fast how I do that. All right, so now to brush on the back, we will just take our pieces, flip them upside down, and then put a small coat on each one. Get a old paintbrush. Is this my, no, that's for my glue. Yeah. Get an old paintbrush and then just brush it on very thin. So we do not need overly too much. And you don't have to do this for the mesh because the Mod Podge will hold it on well, but because I will be drilling through and making sure my holes are open, I just like the extra security of knowing that it'll be on there well. All right, so now these are done as well, and look how beautiful these came out. Absolutely gorgeous. So you can use Mod Podge on the top of your pumpkin if you want, but I only have the matte, so it's not going to be very shiny. And I want shiny, so I'm going to use my Sculpey Gloss Glaze since this is clay. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit on. You don't need a lot of this. And this will shine up my pumpkin and protect the pan pastel that I put on here. All right, so the last thing we need to do is re-drill our holes, and you could either use a drill like this, which is a hand one that just pushes, or you can use a power drill, and very, very simple. So because I do have resin, it just is so much easier going through with my power one. So that's what I'm going to use. So I just line it up. Go right through. So get your jump rings and your pliers. I am going to use rose gold because I thought rose gold would look beautiful with this set. This is dry already. So just push it right through. Oops. Make it a better grip. And there we go. Okay. So get your fish hook earring, and if you don't want to turn these, you don't have to. You could easily just add a smaller jump ring. I don't want to add a smaller jump ring, so I am going to take the bottom hoop here and then carefully just turn it. So this way, when you put it on, your earring will be facing the proper way. This part that goes in your ear always wants to face, you always want it to face the back of your earring. This way it will lay on your ear properly. There we go. And there are the earrings. Look how beautiful. These are so pretty. I love how these came out. So the back looks gorgeous. The front looks gorgeous. And took really no effort at all. I really hope you guys enjoy creating these fall earrings with me. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.